Your story, man,
Yeah.
is an amazing story
Yeah.
of grace and mercy and recovery.
Gosh.
How bad had it got for you, Charlie?
Ooh, you finna make me cry now, man. It's like sleeping under trucks, cars, parking lots. Then I'd have a shopping cart with some plastic around it, a brick for my pillow, and a piece of carpet. That's where I laid on.
How long is this going on?
A couple years
Now, this was after.
after the Gap Band success.
Oh, yeah, this was after.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the turnaround for you?
You know, first I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. I was just tired. And I saw a cousin of mine who came to Hollywood, and I think they was looking for me. She was looking for me. And she saw me, and she immediately just started crying. And she looked so good. We used to get high together. And so I said, give me a hit. She just was crying so bad. And she just hugged me for, at least 30 seconds, and she wouldn't let go. And then when she let go, she looked at me and said, cuz you dying out here. I was like, I ain't dying. And she took out a mirror and showed me myself. I was like, whoa, who the hell is that? And I looked so bad. My skin was all patchy and dry. And I'm a grown man, and I was weighing 115 pounds. So she had a friend come get me. And when I got into rehab, first day or so, I guess my body's detoxing, and every time I try to get ready to hit my little stuff, I pull it out and try to hit it. I hear some footsteps down the hall. And that footsteps was the counselor, stayed across the hall, and I put it back up. And every time he'd leave, I'd go and I'd listen, and I'd get my stuff and try to hit it again. I hear some more footsteps. And this time, this was a lady. And she was like, you've been here a couple of days, and you're doing a lot of sleeping and you're not participating in class. And I want to see you a little later in my office. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And so anyway, I go to her office, and she was like, what are you going to do when you get out? I mean, I know your cousin, and she was in my program, and, we got you in here, and, it was like, what you going to do? And then I just broke down, started crying, because I said, I don't have nowhere to go. And so, she said, I'll help you. I won't let your feet hit the ground. She got me a house, filled it up with furniture, everything, man. This woman, I didn't know her for Adam. And when I got ready to graduate, that woman took me to that house, and I said, ma'am, I cannot live in this house by myself. She said, I don't know what the hell you looking at me for. I can't do this by myself. I ain't gonna be able to. So I asked her to marry me. It's been 20 years. I never looked back. I ain't never looked back.
I tell people, I'm a failure who learned from his mistakes. Mm-hmm. Don't look at me as somebody who's deep. Like, I made my mistakes, but I think the difference between me and a lot of people who've also made mistakes, they didn't learn from. Mm-hmm. So you got dudes my age, man, that like they still living in the same neighborhood, doing the exact same stuff. It's like life stopped for them after we turned 17, 18. It's like it was like a time capsule or something.
You reached your peak.
Yeah, they got trapped. And then here I am, 45 as well, but have traveled the world, been able to go through a couple college classrooms, NFL, NBA, corporate, whatever. And I'm not better than them. Like, we all from the same block. We the same people. I just was like, yo, E, stop bumping your head in the same, at least if you're going to bump it in a different spot. Like, don't bump it in the same spot.
Right.
So the GED, I failed. Didn't finish school, 12 years to get the 12 years to get a 4-year degree, failed, but took that into the master's program, did well in that, and then let that momentum take me into, the PhD. So mom, pregnant at 17 years old, she got kicked out, you know, just barely finished high school because she was pregnant, you know. So, man, it's just been a life of mistakes. We come from the bottom, you know, we've been disadvantaged, didn't have a whole lot, but we learn from our mistakes. We stop making excuses. We start making adjustments, and those small adjustments get a little bigger, get a little better. And before you know it, here I am, 45 with 2 kids in college, married 26 years, couple degrees. And
couple books.
Yeah, couple books, man. Couple, you know what I'm saying?
I was with a friend who went to the hospital one day and asked me to go with him. His grandmother was dying. He said, "Hey, Harv, you know you good with this kind of stuff, just go with me, man." And I was just standing behind him, just sort of holding him up, man. "Come on, man, just stay on your feet." He kept calling, "My dear, I love you." And she said, "Baby, I'm not gonna make it. I'm finna go home. But I called you down here because I want to ask you something." She said, "Do you know your great-grandfather's name?" He said, "No, my dear, I don't." She said, "You know why?" She said, "Because he didn't leave you nothing." She said, "When I die, I want you to go away from here, and I want you to live your life so that your children's grandchildren will know your name. And the only way for them to know who you are is you got to leave them something." That day, he didn't get the message, but I heard it though. I heard it. And when I heard that, it changed me. And it changed me to the point where I said, wow, I'm gonna start living my life so that my grandkids' kids know my name. Then I've accomplished the deal.
I have to tell each and every one of you that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And the reason that I always say that, because I didn't grow up with things being handed to me. I had to work hard, I had to dedicate myself, and I had to be determined, and I was. Even outside of sport, it could be education, it could be business, it could be anything. It requires discipline and hard work and determination, and most importantly, it requires self-belief, because like me, some people might not believe in you, but you have to believe in you. And sometimes you're going to be your own cheerleader, and you have to be your biggest and your best cheerleader, and never stop believing in yourself, and really always support who you are. The ride for me was not and has not been easy, and maybe your ride won't be easy either, but I'm not standing here because I just kind of cruised on. But I've had my shares of ups and downs. I've had many struggles. I've had blood clots in both my lungs at the same time, and I lived through tragedies and controversies. I've had people put me down because I didn't look like them. I look stronger. I've had people look past me because of the color of my skin. I've had people overlook me because I was a woman. I had critics say I will never win another Grand Slam when I was only at number 7, and now here I stand today with 21 Grand Slam titles, and I'm still going. And I cannot help but think of my favorite poet, Maya Angelou, and she has this poem called "And Still I Rise," and it's a long poem, but I just want to quote a bit of it. So here it goes. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me with the very dirt, but still, like dust, I rise. Just like moon and suns with the certainty of tides, just like hopes and springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops weakened by my soulful cries. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. From a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into the daybreak that's wonderfully clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I rise. I am the dream and the hope of a slave, I rise.
Today is not about me. Today is about you. I know what it feels like to sit on a bench. I know what it feels like to get knocked down. I know what it feels like to have a hope and a dream, and nobody believes in it but a few people. But here's what I know. If you wake up in the morning and cut off the news, and every single day you look like success and look like money, and every time you go into a home, you understand the power of likability. Every time you go into a home, you make sure you don't communicate. You make sure you connect. I guarantee you, over time, as you water that tree, over time, as you build that root system, over time, I promise you, that tree will grow. And before you know it, you will have your own little personal harvest. And don't you quit until you're number one.
Some of y'all have a habit of dreaming within your bank account. Some of your thoughts and visions are so big and so outlandish and so powerful and amazing, you'll end up talking yourself out of that dream from saying, I can't afford that. Well, guess what? There's a lot of shit I can't afford. There's a lot of visions and dreams that I still can't afford. I've always had this idea that one day I'm gonna meet a multi-billionaire. And with this multi-billionaire, we're gonna become the best of friends. And he's gonna say to me, Tyrese, I got all the money in the world, but I don't have your visions or your ideas. And I'll say to him, I got you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna waste your time. I got big visions and ideas. I can't afford them all, but it's not gonna stop me from having these visions and ideas. I came here to remind you that when people laugh at your visions and ideas, it's only because they don't have their own visions and ideas around what they're supposed to do with their life or their careers. People that don't have any dreams for themselves, they tend to be dream killers. People that don't have their own visions, they become vision killers. They want nothing more than to talk you out of your own visions. They don't have dreams for themselves. They don't have any hopes. They're hopeless. They're uninspired, unmotivated. They have no dreams. They have nothing that they're ambitious about. But I want to remind you to continue to dream and dream big. I have a habit of dreaming with my eyes open. I get very inspired by the things I see. I'm inspired by architecture. I'm inspired by photography. I'm inspired by ideas. I'm inspired by the idea that someone can have a vision. And if that vision had stayed in their mind, they would have robbed the world of the opportunity to experience that vision. I mean, think about this. As big as this is, the fact that it's in the middle of the street, if they had kept this idea inside their minds, I wouldn't be here to look at it or experience it. This is the power of visions and ideas. Right here. You see it? This is the power of not allowing anyone to laugh at you. When you say, I want to build something, a sculpture that can go in the middle of the street, and it can be an iconic sculpture that will last forever. Long after I'm dead and gone, this could be a sculpture that can stand in the middle of a street. And if this person who built this would have allowed people to talk them out of their dreams and their visions, it wouldn't be here for us to see or experience. I just wanted to remind you to dream and dream big, and understand that your family and friends and loved ones, in most cases, boyfriends, girlfriends, they will be the first to try and talk you out of your dreams, your visions, and ideas as to what you're supposed to do with your life. They will say, who wants you when you've already had 2 or 3 kids? Who wants you when you put on all that weight? Who wants you when you're looking like this and been through this and been through that? Nobody's interested in you. Nobody's checking for you. They'll laugh at you. They'll call you names because they have no dreams. They have no hunger for success. They don't have an appetite. They don't want it. I want to win so bad. My hunger and appetite for success is intimidating. It scares the shit out of people. I come up with new visions and ideas every single day. And people around me say, slow down, stop. You're doing too much. Your appetite is too big. I can't help myself. I want to win. I'm a billionaire. I was a change-aire. I was a dollar-naire. I was a thousandaire. I am a millionaire. There's only one step left. The billion. I believe it. And there's no one in the world that can talk me out of that feeling.
You want to be successful in business? Cut off the news. Here's what I know. The media's job is not to tell us the truth. The media's job is to make money. The media has figured out that America is addicted to negative information, so every night at 6, what do we get? Think about it, people. When's the last time you watched the news, turned to your wife, husband, significant other, and said, honey, I feel real good about America? When you cut off the news, you're sad, you're depressed, and nothing is ever good news. Am I right or wrong? Lesson number 1, cut off the news. If you paid attention to the media, you would think every black guy was raised by a single mom in the ghetto. I was recently at a conference and a woman grabbed me in the hallway, and this is what she said. She says, wow, it was so good to see you doing well. She said, I thought all athletes struggled when they were done playing sports. I said, miss, you only hear about the athletes who struggle. I doubled my MBA income in business. Really? Yeah, really. Lesson number 1, cut off the news.